to our 10 top tips video. Human action is placing God's beautiful creation on a knife edge, causing injustice globally, locally, racially and generationally. Knowing how to respond in love and with integrity can be hard. So here are 10 actions that can make a difference. The 10 pledges. The first pledge is about switching your electricity supply, and David Bunting from St John's, Knaresborough, is going to talk to us about that.
So the pledge I'm making today is to change my energy supplier from a dirty fossil fuel supplier to a green one. Right now I'm using the oven, I'm using my gas. In the old days that meant putting CO2 into the atmosphere, and one of the easier things I just did is to change my supplier to an ecological brand, so it's using renewable energy. And it doesn't have to be more expensive. Mine's actually saved me some money. And also they offered to pay an early exit fee. So if you're worried about incurring that thing you're locked in for another year, don't. Honestly, it's the easiest pledge you can make. It doesn't impact my lifestyle and the food tastes just as good. So there you go. Be green, save yourself some money, save the planet. Thank you.
Pledge 2 is about food. Food forms a large part of our carbon footprint. Reverend Karen Marshall from St Thomas Heptonstall and St James's Hebden Bridge is going to talk to us about buying local.
How to buy local and seasonal produce. You can either go to your supermarket or do as I do, which is I subscribe to a veg bag scheme, and that means that every week I get tons of delicious vegetables. Well, not literally tons, but enough to make some really good meals. As you can see today, look at these fabulous dirty carrots and that wonderful sweet corn. So a veritable feast will be served.
Pledge 3 is about getting better informed about climate change. I'd recommend watching David Attenborough's Climate Change, The Facts, and also keeping an eye on the local and national news, because climate change is impacting our businesses, our global neighbours and our daily lives. Pledge 4 is about contacting your MP and raising awareness about climate change. Personal action is important, but so is government action. Katherine Grasham, the Diocesan Disability Officer, is going to tell us about this.
Hi, I'm Katherine Alice. I work for the Diocese of Leeds, and I have taken up Eco Pledge number 4, which is to write to my MP to raise awareness. I recently moved to a new constituency, so I've got a new MP that I need to write to, and I really want to encourage them to think about sustainable ways that we in this constituency can be doing things. So hopefully they'll be able to help raise awareness of things like going zero waste and using reusable products and things like that. So I'm going to be sending them an email shortly. It's really easy to find out who your MP is online, so I would really encourage you to send them even just a short email. That's a great thing to do for this pledge.
Pledge 5 is all about how we travel, and Sara Polito is going to tell us about her journeys.
Hi, my name is Sara, and I have decided to work towards Pledge 5. So I've been trying to reduce using the car and to use public transport instead where possible. I signed up for a bus pass, and I take the bus regularly to town to see my friends, to go to work, to go shopping, and for longer journeys I take the train. I'd recommend this pledge because I personally find driving quite stressful and parking in the city, and instead on public transport I can relax.
Pledge 6 is about calculating your carbon emissions. It can be hard to reduce your carbon footprint if you don't know what it is. Kerry Morrison from St Mark's, Harrogate, shows us how to do this.
I am investigating Pledge 6 to work out our carbon footprint. On climatestewards.org you will find a calculator for this and the chance to offset equal to your individual calculation. On the World Wildlife Fund page, using their calculator will give you a final page like this, or the carbonfootprint.com. This site requires more detail, so it's best to have your annual electricity and gas usage and car mileage handy, and you would have a final page like this.
Pledge 7 is a home energy check. Cal Bailey from St James Woodside has been busy in his loft.
Hello, it's Cal Bailey here, and I'm talking to you from our loft, which is rather dark, but I'm here to show you what I did on some dusty Saturday afternoons back in 2012. I increased the amount of our loft insulation, as you can see, from the normal 100mm, which builders in those days used to leave, to 300mm, which was then the recommendation of the Energy Savings Trust. And I think it still is their recommendation. Now, I now want to show you the graph of the impact this has had on our energy consumption, which I hope you can see clearly. Ignore, please, the first block and the last block on the left and the right. They're incomplete years, but the rest are complete years from 2013 to 2020, and they show, as you can see, a clear reduction. And I hope that shows that it's worthwhile. The other way of telling you it's been worthwhile is that our monthly direct debits have fallen from £171 in 2012 to the exact equivalent for the same month, for the same bills, to £85 currently. So it's worthwhile in every way and contributes, of course, positively to the climate challenge we have. It's also been fun, and our kids now are very supportive of all we've been doing. Good luck with Pledge 7.
Pledge 8 is about turning down your central heating thermostat. Anita Shaw from the Headingley Churches Team talks us through this.
We each have a part to play in reducing our carbon footprint, and to that end, I've pledged to reduce our heating thermostat to 18 degrees. Here's the thermostat. It's easy to say it on a beautiful sunny day like today, but in order to make this possible in winter, we'll be putting on extra jumpers, possibly wrapping up in a cosy blanket if we're watching TV, and utilising hot water bottles to give some localised heat. For those working from home, I believe breaking up the day with some exercise will not only be helpful to keeping warm, but also beneficial to mental health. Thank you. I wish you well in this challenge.
Pledge 9 is about how we can fly less. Jill Jones from St Edmund's Roundhay talks us through how she's been inspired.
Cutting out flying is one of the biggest things that we can do personally to cut our carbon footprint. So that is what I've pledged to do. Never to fly again. My determination to do this has been increased recently by the birth of my first grandchild. Who knows what state the world will be in when she is age 20 unless we take drastic action now. There are many alternative holidays that are possible by train rather than flying. For example, we've just walked the Dales Way, a very beautiful long-distance walk right on our doorstep. We've also travelled to the south of France and to Spain by train. We actually think it feels more like real travel when we go by train rather than plane, getting a true feel of the distance you've travelled, rather than just being plunked down somewhere hundreds of miles away. It definitely feels like more of an adventure.
Pledge 10 is about greener driving. We go now to Dawn Savidge from the Diocesan Children and Youth Team in her car.
I wish I didn't have to use my car as much, but unfortunately I do. But I can actually pledge to be a greener driver. I can do this by making sure that my car is in good maintenance. I can do it by making sure that I don't use the air conditioning unnecessarily. Avoid travelling in rush hour times, which means that I'm not idling, not spending those times sitting in the queues. I can also watch my speed. There are lots of ways that I can be a better, greener driver. You can too.
Thank you to all the participants who have shared their top tips in this video. You can find out more about the 10 pledges on the Diocesan website, along with a host of other eco-resources for your church. We would love to hear how you get on with these 10 pledges, or any other tips you have to better care for God's creation.